I woke up to the sound of someone breathing, not the slow, even rhythm of sleep, but a heavy, deliberate inhale. It was close, way too close. And then I heard the faint creak of the floorboards right next to my bed. That's when I realized I wasn't alone in the room anymore. Last year, I took a cheap job cleaning rooms at an old bed and breakfast just outside a small town. It wasn't glamorous, but it covered rent, and the owner let employees crash in the unused guest rooms during winter. The place had character: creaky floors, wallpaper that smelled like dust, and those old-fashioned keys that actually turned in metal locks. There were only 2 of us staying there long-term, me and a man named Eric. He was maybe 40, quiet but polite, always wore the same brown jacket, even indoors. He didn't talk much, just small nods when we passed in the hallway. The first few weeks were fine, until one night I noticed Eric standing at the end of the hallway just staring at my door, not moving, not blinking. When I looked again, he was gone. I tried to laugh it off. Maybe he was just zoning out. But then things started shifting. My toiletries moved. My window left cracked open when I knew I'd closed it. And every night I could hear his footsteps above me, slow, pacing ones, even though his room wasn't directly overhead. One evening, I came back late from a friend's house. The front door was locked from the inside, so I used my spare key. Inside, the place was silent, except for the faint sound of a TV playing in Eric's room. I decided to just head to my room and sleep. That's when I noticed my door was slightly ajar. Inside, the lamp was still on, and on the dresser, someone had left a small paper note that said, "You shouldn't leave your door unlocked." My hands shook as I locked it tight and pushed a chair under the handle. I barely slept. The next morning, Eric acted like nothing happened. He even smiled at me while stirring his coffee. That was the first time I realized he wanted me to know. A few nights later, the power went out. The hallway went pitch black. I used my phone's flashlight to find the breaker box in the storage room, a tiny space behind the laundry area. The door was heavy, with a deadbolt on the inside so I could lock it while I worked. I was crouched near the breaker when I heard a soft tap on the door. Then, in that same deliberate rhythm, another 3 seconds apart. Then the handle turned. Slowly. Someone was trying to come in. I froze. There was a long silence. Then, a low whisper, "I know you're in there." I turned the bolt as quietly as I could and backed into the corner. The doorknob rattled harder this time, then stopped. Footsteps. They moved away, then came back, louder, and suddenly the lights flickered back on. I waited 10 minutes before daring to move. When I finally opened the door, the hallway was empty, but the light switch in my room was flipped down. Someone had turned it off. That night, I moved my dresser in front of the door and kept the knife from the kitchen under my pillow. Around 3 a.m., a soft metallic sound woke me. A key turning. My heart stopped. The doorknob turned halfway, but hit the dresser. Then a whisper, "Don't make this harder." I grabbed my phone and called 911, whispering my address. I didn't even hang up. I just kept the line open as footsteps retreated down the hall. When the police arrived, the front door was open. Eric's room was empty. They found his bag packed, his bed untouched, and on the table by the door, a single key labeled storage. The officer told me there were scratch marks on the inside of that door, like someone had spent hours trying to get in after being locked out. I quit the job the next day. The owner said Eric had never officially checked in. His name wasn't on any paperwork. To this day, I still wake up some nights to that sound in my head, the slow click of a doorknob turning.